What's up, YouTube? Now, this is going to be a quick video, very quick video. I just wanted to show this little piece from the Resident Evil video game series. If you didn't know, a new Resident Evil game just dropped. Actually, today, really, yes, 27th. It dropped today, and it hit midnight, and everybody's playing it and shit and talking about it. And I've been looking at the game and trying to watch the gameplay from beginning to end because I'm gonna do a decode of this game. And if you've seen the video that I dropped like some months ago, where I did a Resident Evil decode, I kind of decoded the whole video game series. If you've seen that, then you already know what Resident Evil is about and whatnot. Now, if you don't, and you haven't seen that decode, I'll put it in the description of this video so you can see the decode of the game, right? And see all the numbers and how it all connects to the Jesuits and the Templars, because that's what Resident Evil, as you know, if for those of you that know about gematria and whatnot, and how I talk about that on this channel sometimes, who really runs the show. It's the Jesuits. You look through history, they're the ones who run the show. It's the Vatican who run the world, and they're the ones controlling this government, United States government. And in the Resident Evil games, I mean, the numbers are just all over it, just linked to the Jesuits and Templars. Like I said, if you've seen that decode I did, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. If not, like I said, I'll put it in the description. And I was looking at, I've been looking at videos on this game, and the ending of the game, right, kind of like towards the end credits of the game, like after everything happened and all the stuff transpired in the game, it's like they have like a news broadcast, and the guy is talking about how they're like exposing stuff that occurred at Raccoon City and stuff like that. Bunch of video game lore. I'm not going to get too deep into it, but it's just funny how they love to put this stuff in the video games, the movies, the news and stuff, and they throw these little hints on who's really running the show. And it's most people, of course, are not gonna pick up on any of this. They just look at it. It's just a video game. They don't know anything about how this is all by the numbers and how these people who run the show do this. But it's just funny the subtle ways of mockery they do it. I mean, are you only gonna see it if you know what's taking place, right? Now I'm gonna play this little piece from this video, and it's just funny how they throw the subtle hints at what's really going on. I'm gonna play this clip, and then I'm gonna break down some of the numbers in the game, in the Gematria. And like I said, I'll put the description to my full-on decode. I'll put the link to the description of my full-on decode that I did on the game. But I'm gonna play this little clip here.
Sources say that the extension of the lockdown and the recent series of mysterious deaths may be related to tragic events in Raccoon City 28 years ago.
Evidence seized in Raccoon City has led the Justice Department to reopen its investigation into Oswald Spencer and the long-defunct Umbrella Corporation. Some believe the government deliberately drove Umbrella into bankruptcy.
The late Alyssa Ashcroft is credited with cracking the Oswald Spencer story. Conspiracy theorists are already claiming that she was killed in a cover-up and that the organization responsible is secretly controlling our government.
Tonight,
Now, it's funny how, I mean, they do this all the time in the games, the movies, and they're saying how, as you saw, the group that's responsible for the assassination of this character in the game, the guy says that they're secretly controlling our government, right? Now that group would be Umbrella Corporation, right? The people who are the main antagonists in the game, really. Even though they've kind of in the series now, they're kind of like defunct or whatever. But there's splintered groups that went off from them and stuff like that. I'm not gonna get too much in the lore, but it's funny how he says like this group is secretly controlling our government. And like I said, Umbrella Corporation, and this is their symbol right here. And you notice if you know anything right about the Templars or Jesuits, you already look at this symbol. Does it look familiar? If it does, then yeah, that's because if you look close enough, it's not that hard. It looks like the Templar cross, does it not? The Umbrella Corporation symbol looks like the Templar cross, and the Jesuits are really just the modern day Templars, right? And it's funny how Umbrella Corporation, who represents the Jesuits in this Resident Evil game series, they have their symbol is literally the Templar cross. It's just the subtle ways they put stuff in these games, how the dude's like, oh, this group secretly controls our government. And as we know, the Jesuits are really who are running the show. And like I said, I'm gonna go to the Gematinator and just look over, show just a little bit of some of the numbers just to show you the connections, right, to the Templars, to the Jesuits. So, Umbrella Corporation, they're the group that that are running. They're the group that represent the Jesuits and Templars, like I said. And they're the ones who, they're doing a lot of stuff, trying to make bioweapons in the game and whatnot. Now, there's so many different like groups and names for them, right? One of them is Umbrella Corps, and you see Umbrella Corps is 79 and 56. And if you understand the significance of those numbers, Knights Templar is what? 79, and Umbrella Corps is 79. And also the 56 number, Society of Jesus, is also 56, right? So you got Society of Jesus, which is another name for the Jesuits, right? Society of Jesus 56, Umbrella Corps 56. You also got the 79 as well. Society of Jesus 79, Knights Templar 79, Umbrella Corps 79. The creator of the corporation, Oswell E. Spencer, is 72. Now, in the subtitles for this clip I just showed, it had a Z in there. His name has always had an S. I don't know if that's just the way the subtitles is. I don't know if it's the AI do. I don't know what that is. But even if you put the Z in there, right? Now, like I'm showing you 72, just real quick. If you know the significance of that number, right? Jesuit Order 72. But even if you put that Z in his name, for whatever reason it's there, Oswald E. Spencer, 65, right? Just like Knights Templar is 65. So even if you put that Z in there, it has that connection to both the Templars and the Jesuits. And there's so many other numbers. I'm not going to get too much into it. Like I said, I got a whole decode on it. But I mean, they just drop so many subtle hints and shit and really mockery to the people. Most people aren't going to get it. Most people are just going to call you a crazy tinfoil hat wearer. At this point, I feel like if you see all this information and you look at people like Zach's channel and stuff like that, and King Richard, shout out to them, if you look at all this information, you just think it's a coincidence. At this point, I just got to say you're a fucking idiot. I hate to really do all that, but if you just think there's nothing to this at all, you don't scratch your head at all at any of this, then I think you're just a fucking idiot. I think it's safe to say that. I think it's safe to say that at this point. I think you're just an idiot. And when the elites talk about the wasteless eaters, I think you are rightfully given that title, because, I mean, come on, bro. Come on, bro. And like I said, I'll just show it a little bit here. There's a lot more. I'll put the description. I'll put the link to my full-on breakdown in the description. And I'm going to do a breakdown on this specific game that came out, Resident Evil 9. I am going to do a decode on that, separate video. But yeah, man, the game is very deep. There's a lot. If you really pay attention, man, if they drop a lot of subliminal messages in the games, man, in all the games, man. And even in this game, a lot of subliminal shit they were dropping. But yeah, that's really all I got to say for this video, man. I'm out.